Alright guys, we are on location at Jimmy's World. As you can see, we have a beautiful Cessna right here that's been stripped of all of its paint. We're going to be compounding, polishing this thing out to a complete mirror finish. Make it look something along these lines right here. Stay tuned, this is going to be a fun project. Hey there fellow aviators and detailers. Welcome to my channel, The Plane Detailer, where we embark on an incredible journey around the globe, diving deep into the art of aircraft detailing. I'm Brandon, owner of Sparrowhawk Houston and a proud trainer for the Aviation Detailing Association, known as the ADA. Join me as we explore the world of aviation and I share tips, tricks, and techniques to keep these antique beauties in pristine condition. Let me be your guide as we go about preserving these magnificent flying machines that are truly pieces of art. So buckle up and hit that subscribe button to follow along on this adventure. Let's preserve the legacy of these aircraft together, one detail at a time. Welcome to the next project. This is a Jimmy's World project for Penelope, a Cessna 120 from 1947. Now with any project, you always want to do a test spot so that you know what exactly it's going to take to achieve the results that you're looking for. So when we have paint that has been stripped like this and there's no gloss at all, there's no shine at all to it, we actually have to restore the metal. We're actually going to want to use a lot more F7 than typical, so we're going to be painting the F7 onto the surface more than just putting one drop every 3 inches. So we're actually going to be painting it on there that we have a lot of F7, that way we can really move this metal and restore that gloss. When doing metal restoration like this, the most important part is the cut. So you need to make sure that you do the best job you can on the cut part, because it's going to make all the rest of this very, very simple to do. And when I'm doing my cut here, I'm actually going to be going very slow with my arm speed. I'm actually going to be going at a rate of 1 inch per second when I really start to get going on my cut here. So just really go nice and slow on your cut, that way you get the best cut and the best look on the metal. After spreading out the polish with speed setting 1 and flat on our rotary, then we're going to turn our rotary on its side and do what I like to call a vertical pass. The vertical pass is going to be a little bit more aggressive, and it's really going to put some hard hash marks into the metal here. But what it's going to do is really going to cut a lot of that metal, almost like an airway buffer does. It's going to really cut that metal, and we're going to be able to get that nice gloss out of there. And what we're doing is we're doing like a CNC machine. We're going to cut one direction and polish the other direction. So as you see, I have my buffer here. I'm cutting one direction all the way down to the end of my test spot, and then when I come back on that same exact line all the way back over, and that's going to polish out that area. Then I'm going to move up to a 50% overlap and then do my next cut pass down the metal here again. Back and forth like a CNC machine, just really focusing on making sure I go back over those lines, really clean that up before I go to my next little area. Then I overlap it, go to my next area, and just keep thinking that I'm a CNC machine the entire time, just trying to make sure that I keep my machine even and right on that line. Once I'm done with all my linear passes, I'm going to start with my crosshatch pattern, so I'm going to start going up and down now on the surface. So I want to make sure that I cut all these scratches evenly in the metal. So I'm going to be rotating my machine now, and I'm going to be doing my crosshatch up and down vertical pass here. As you can hear the metal popping as we go over the surface. This is typical whenever you're running your polisher on the surface. You are creating heat, and we call it a little oil canning. So it's nothing to be concerned about. Just know that it's going to happen as you're polishing the metal. It's just going to get cold and warm. It's going to pop and everything like that as you're going over the surface. Now that this pass is done, I still have some metal polish on the surface, which is good, so that I can go and do my flat pass on here. So same exact process that I did with my crosshatch pattern. I'm just going to go flat with my pad now, and what this is going to do is it's going to even out a lot of those very hard hash marks that I put from my vertical pass. I call this my horizontal pass. So my pad is going to be flat on the surface, and it's really going to refine out a lot of those really aggressive hash marks that I just put in from having my pad vertical. Once I'm done going over everything, I just kind of take my polisher, kind of run back over the surface to make sure that I have no polish left on the surface. One thing about the metal is as long as you have polish on the surface, you're really safe. The moment that you start to see that you don't have any polish on the surface, you need to be concerned about having polish on the surface so that you do not burn the metal. And when we are doing our full cut, we are making sure that we run our machine at speed setting 6. On this machine is 1700 RPMs, but you really want to make sure that you're between 1700 and 2000 RPMs when you're really trying to cut this metal. As far as pressure is concerned, I'm really not putting a lot of pressure on here. I just like to hold the top of my rotary and kind of guide it into where I want it to go. The D handle on here makes it just look like I'm kind of holding it a little more aggressive than I really am though. As you guys can see, this is the first cut with F7 here. We went on an angle first, give all this a very nice angle cut, then we come back and do a flat pass. We did a crosshatch pattern. We're not looking to make a window at all. We're looking to spread the metal polish and really work the metal polish in, leaving enough metal polish on the surface to keep working it in for us to get our vertical pass and then come back with our flat crosshatch pass. So that's why we kind of painted the Nuvite on there. We can always come by and do a second pass if we want to after this, but this actually looks pretty good. We'll go over our C and our S and finish this thing out and see how this thing looks before I make my final decision on where we're going to go. As you guys can see here, this is our next pass. This is C. We put one fingerprint every 3 inches really on here. Kind of spread that metal out. We're using a lamb's wool from Lake Country pad on here. And I really like the Lake Country lamb's wool pad just as a second pass because it's a low lint pad and it really shines up that metal really good. So I'm just going to spread out my metal polish here and I'm going to go back to my CNC machine thinking here. And we're going to be back to cutting this metal left to right, cut and polish, overlapping, going back over that same line, cut and polish, and then we're going to go and do our crosshatch pattern just like we did with our F7. We're going to do the same thing with C. And for the most part, we're keeping this pad flat. We just have it slightly elevated just so it just doesn't jump around at all. But we're mostly keeping this pad nice and flat on the surface here. And it's going to really refine that metal and kind of really shave it down from those F7 passes that we did on there. As we run our polisher, we are running it at speed setting 6. So we are running it at full speed on here as we are cutting this metal. That's going to be for F7 and it's also going to be for C. So you're going to be doing the same thing for both compounds. Spread it out at speed setting 1, and then when you're really trying to work it in the metal there, you want to run it at speed setting 6 or anywhere between 1700 and 2000 RPMs on whatever rotary machine that you have. Now that we're finishing up with this C pass here, we're going to switch over and do our DA just to make sure that this is not going to haze back up from the different type of metal that is on here. So we will come back with our S pass with our dual action polisher, our orange foam pad from Lake Country, and really shine up this metal just to make sure it doesn't haze back up from too much clad that's in the metal. And right as I finished up my test spot, look who decided to show up. The one and only Jimmy's World. And he decided that he wanted to learn some metal polishing today as well. So I went ahead and let him do a test spot right next to my test spot. And we can see here if his test spot comes out exactly the same or not. Now, one thing about this project is it is 74-year-old metal. So a lot of these deep scratches that you're seeing right here in this metal are not going to come out. They're just in there. They are what we call beauty marks in the metal because this is an old plane. It's been through a lot over the years, and it's going to have a little bit of scratches and imperfections that are in the metal, but we are polishing it out and really restoring that metal to make it look its absolute best. Now, one thing about this project is all about passing the torch and metal polishing to the next generation of metal polishers. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm teaching our new Sparrowhawk Tampa location on all the proper techniques that I have and I've accumulated over the years of metal polishing, and to make sure that everybody can do and replicate the jobs just like I'm doing them myself here. We also had Tommy, which is one of our ADA students, show up from our Indianapolis training class. He actually is from Naples, Florida, so Marquis Mobile Detailing, so go ahead and check him out on Facebook and Instagram as well. He came out, gave us a hand on here, and wanted to really learn metal polishing as well. So after taking our ADA training class in Indianapolis, I invited him along to tag team on this project here. And as you can see here, he's the one in the gray shirt there with the shorts on, and he's knocking out all this metal polishing, this cutting, helping us out with the cut here to really refine this metal here. So thank you, Tommy, for coming out from Naples, Florida, helping us out on this project, giving us a hand. It's a great opportunity to have you out here with us, and we had a great, amazing time really cutting up this plane and really making this thing shine back up like it's supposed to. So what I had noticed, the best way to keeping the door from moving all over the place is to ratchet strap it down to the bench here. So I ratchet strapped the door down to the bench. That way I could really sit there and polish this thing without it flinging all over the place on me. So this was definitely a nice little tool or trick of the trade, if you will. Alright, we are on day 3 of this project now. We're still getting the cut done here. Got a couple little pieces that we have left to cut. The reason why it's kind of slowed us down is there's a lot of pieces of this plane that still have paint on there that we're stripping the paint. So we have to keep calling them, hey, bring us another can of stripper, another can of stripper, another can of stripper, and they keep bringing one at a time. So kind of had to let that sit for 45 minutes before we can wipe it off. So we're getting stalled out a little bit on our typical process, but we are getting a lot of this all cut up here. Tommy all set up on the next door panel here. Got the guys on the engine cowling here. One guy holding it so it doesn't jump all over the place. Alright, we're finishing up with our first step. We got everything cut now. We're going to have an IPA wipe. This is a 50-50 IPA. It could be 70% or 91%, doesn't matter. But we cut this 1-to-1 with distilled water, so I just finished putting distilled water in this. We're going to wipe the whole plane down, make sure that we don't have any polish from our F7 step. That's going to contaminate our C step. And we're going to go ahead and start on our C step with our lamb's wool pad. The IPA wipe is a great habit to get into as you're doing your metal polishing, especially when you're first getting started into metal polishing until you get the hang of it. But you really need to wipe in between these steps here, because what it's going to do is it's going to break down all those non-diminishing abrasives and remove them off the surface. So F7 has a non-diminishing abrasive and C has a non-diminishing abrasive. So if you cross-contaminate that in each pass, it's going to be harder to finish out the process. Okay, now that we're done with our F7 pass, we're going to come out with our C pass. We have a lamb's wool pad here. It's going to be great for cutting. Low lint, it's not going to throw lint all over the place. It's going to be much cleaner, nicer cut on our second pass here. Now the C pass is almost literally my favorite. I do like the pass of F7 because you cut all that oxidized and dull metal out, but there's just something about that C pass, how it really cleans all that pass of F7 up and really refines that gloss that I just absolutely love. I love doing this pass of C. It's a lot faster than the pass of F7, obviously, because you're not having to cut all the metal as well. You're just refining that metal out. So this pass that I'm doing with C and then the subsequent pass of S after this is going to be much faster than the first initial pass of F7 on our cut. Alright guys, we're back for the last day on the Jimmy's World project. We have done both passes of our cut, of our F7 and our C pass. Now we just have to do one more alcohol wipe, and then we're going to do our S pass and mineral spirit buff, and this thing's all done. Now teamwork makes dreams work, so while Muhammad is working on our pass of S here, I'm going to be cleaning up the hanger to make it look presentable so our customer comes back and doesn't see how much of a mess we had made over the past week here. Now, Muhammad is part of our Sparrowhawk Tampa location. He was also a ADA member. He was part of our ADA training class in Dallas in May of this past year as well. So he's going to be working on our pass of S on here, which is going to be used with a DA polisher with a orange Lake Country non-CCS pad here. We're going to be just spreading out all the S polish on here with speed setting 1, then coming behind with speed setting 3, bumping it up to really work in that metal polish, and then we're going to be cleaning it all up with a cotton flannel towel wrapped on our polisher here, and that's going to pull all this black dark polish off the surface. And then for our very last step, we're going to be using mineral spirits, kind of wiping it on the surface here, spraying it on the surface, and then coming behind with a clean, dry cotton flannel towel to polish all that off the surface. And that's going to pull all the dark spots off the rivet heads and really pull any leftover polish that is on the surface off the surface to give us a clean, perfect finish that you see here. If you guys enjoyed this restoration, please drop a comment down below and let me know what your favorite part of this restoration was. Also, if you guys like the content that I put out, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you get notified every time I release a new video. Really, my channel is here to help you become better aircraft detailers, and I really hope that I accomplish that in each one of my videos that I put out for you guys here. And if you guys like it, we will see you guys in the next video.